Hey, Loco sports fans. Welcome to the Loco Sports Lowdown, presented by Mickelson Law Firm, our all-star sponsor. Our original sponsor, been with us since the beginning and still supporting us today. It is the Loco Sports Lowdown. I'm Justin Jarrett. We got Wes Kerr and Marcus Walsh from WHHI TV. We punted last night, and I'm not any less tired tonight than I was last night. But here we are. Tuesday night it is, and got a good show lined up for you tonight. Wes was out checking out some volleyball action tonight. Big region match between Beaufort and Bluffton, and
Nice.
Beaufort coming out with the dub. So I've got a couple highlights that you sent over, Wes, that we'll check out, and the rest are downloading or uploading to the cloud as we speak. So you'll be able to check those out on Last Night in the Loco, tomorrow on WHHI TV. But Marcus, you're looking quite dapper over there. I like that shirt. How you doing?
Thank you. The shirt is weird. It's good. And I'm doing well. My mom and dad got this shirt for me for my birthday, but I don't know if it's the material or the material that the buttons are made out of. I got like three half buttons on here.
Oh yeah.
They just split.
No.
So it's weird. The reason I'm looking a little bit more dapper than usual is because I actually sang for a celebration of life today.
Okay.
This afternoon, hence the ears getting lowered, and well, a couple other reasons for the ears getting lowered. It's just
the weekend as
it was just time. But other than that, getting things ready for another week of high school football. Looking forward to getting back to Hilton Head on Friday and seeing Hardyville and actually calling a game of theirs. I'm hoping that despite what happened last week in the resumption of that game that we were witnessing just a little bit while we were packing things up. I hope the offense and some plays on defense can happen again, because I go back to that Whale Branch game. Brown was absolutely terrific. And if he can do a similar performance, if he can have a similar performance against Hilton Head this week, they may have a chance.
He had an incredible game on defense Friday night, and we'll talk about it a little more later when we go through the week one results and takeaways. But yeah, he was outstanding on defense, and Hardyville played well in that game. They were down 12-6 and going to the fourth quarter and lost 28-6. East Clarendon is a tough squad, so but
28. I thought I saw it was 26.
Yeah, I think it's wrong on there. It was 28-6 as well.
Misa told me 26-6.
Oh, he did?
When I talked to him on Saturday morning.
Okay, I guess I was wrong then. 26 it is. So yeah, not so bad. Played pretty tough. But Wes, how was this volleyball action? I feel like the Region 6 4A, the depth of that volleyball.
It seems like it's going to be quite a jumbled mess over there as well, just like in football, as we were alluding to before the season started. But I'll tell you what, I'm really impressed by this Beaufort team. I did not see in terms of their success early in the year coming, but they've got some studs on that roster, and this was a great back and forth match. Beaufort looked like the better team throughout, but Bluffton just kept fighting and kept hanging in there and made it competitive. They won a tight second set to even it up, but it just felt like Beaufort, with the power that they have in terms of their hitting, was just a little too much for Bluffton, and a lot of tremendous standouts for the Eagles in this one. In particular, a last name that you probably recognize, Allison Dennison.
Yep.
I believe the
that last name well.
The Dennison brothers that we covered back in the day a couple years ago, Michael and James. But Allison has become a stud in the volleyball court, a senior, terrific middle presence, but she does a lot of more different things. She pulled off some pretty crafty shots on the set. Instead of saying it to her teammate, she just whipped it over the net and got a couple of points that way. And then some others really impressed for Beaufort along the way. But I'm pretty excited about what this Eagle team can do. I think they're a certain region contender by how they played and just the technique and the fundamentals that they played, or they showed in a strong manner throughout tonight. And even with some adversity, even dropping that second set, they gave Bluff. They certainly had their miscues in this game. They gave Bluff some opportunities, but I don't know if you saw that long point.
Incredibly long point.
Yeah, just some tremendous volleyball. I'm really impressed by that Bluffton team, the way they hung in there, the way they competed and pushed it towards almost the fifth set. The fourth set went 28-26.
Oh, wow.
Bluff really served the ball well throughout. Unfortunately, those last couple of points, they missed like 2 or 3 serves in a row, and Buford eventually able to cash in on the match point and win the thing. But I think Bluffton's going to be competitive in this region. Certainly, Buford looks like they will be. Dennison, as I mentioned, was a beast, but also Carson Crosby, another senior, Oppo outside here. She really came on as this match went along. She was terrific. Olivia Byrne, at 6'1", was a great presence down near the nets. They got a great mix of heights and just the finesse and the power in terms of their hitting. Now, the one thing for Buford I would say is just their serving wasn't great today. They had a couple of unforced errors. They can clean up just their serve game and make it difficult for the other team to side out. Buford is going to be a handful to deal with in this region. I really like just the way they the technical skill of Buford was really impressive for me tonight, and just the cohesiveness, the passing, being on the same page, really strong play all night long from Buford, and I'm excited to see where they go from here. This was a crucial region win, first region match of the season. Looking at the schedule, Bishop England will be the big one coming up next week. Obviously, the Battling Bishops, terrific program. And then the May River, the game after that, the 23rd, the return match at May River on the 16th. And then don't forget Hilton Head. Haven't seen much from them yet, but the Seahawks are always a talented, well-coached team, although they're 2-10 to start the season, which is a bit of a surprise. I expected a little bit more from Hilton Head, but certainly they played up and played some tough competition in some tournaments. But I'd expect Hilton Head to be competitive as we get closer to region play, into region play. Actually starts.
Well, they're the kind of team that even if they're down, like they'll knock somebody off. They'll catch somebody napping, you know. But yeah, May River and Bishop England, obviously powerhouses at this stage, I would say, and Beaufort looks like they're going to be right on that level this year. So should be some really great matches in the region, and hopefully
this was exciting one, and the crowd was fantastic. Big turnout on both sides, both Beaufort and Bluffton supporters. Kirkland Crazies traveling well. A lot of Beaufort fans over there, but just really excited about the way Bluffton competed in the game in the match that really it looked like they were being outplayed, but a couple of tremendous points, including the ones that you saw there to give Bluffton that big second set. Those young ladies will fight and they will battle for every point. And that's what you want to see if you're a coach, of trying to build a team up, and just some terrific effort all the way through from Bluffton. And they're going to be a tough out. Even for like Bishop England, they're not going to be an easy team to knock down. So I'm excited. I think there's going to be a lot of close matches between these best teams in the region this year.
Yeah, absolutely. My Canes got another volleyball win tonight. Great. Swept Royal Live Oaks for 3-1 in region play. Looking good, and recruiting more and more of those girls to play softball this year, as one does. But here we go. We're working on getting us a ticker going here. I forgot. I dropped the ball. But yeah, good stuff there, Wes, and good to see a great volleyball match. Beaufort taking down Bluffton in a region contest. Should be shaping up to be good. How about well, I guess, should we start with the rankings, or should we recap week 2 first? I suppose we can start with the rankings. Shout out to our all-star sponsors, Mickelson Law Firm, mentioned them at the top, official real estate sponsor, real estate closing attorney, and official sponsor of our Hilton Head Christian Academy coverage. Been with us since the beginning. Call on Mickelson Law Firm for all your legal needs. And then our newest MVP, all-star sponsor, WHHI TV, your employer, Marcus. You guys did a great job on the season opener for your high school football coverage, and you'll be back on the air Friday at the Nest, Hardyville against Hilton Head. But yeah, I got to watch a decent amount of the game when I got home, and while I was sitting on the sidelines waiting for the lights to come back on in Hardyville, we were all watching your game to see how long we were going to have to wait to resume ours. But No, great job on the coverage. Forrest doing a great job on the sidelines, and just
How about that
really
pregame show?
yeah,
And
good stuff.
he's already
I kind
pumping
of
us
scrolled
with stuff
through
for
that,
this week too.
but because I only got to catch the later part of the game live, but I scrolled through some of it later. But no, you guys doing a bang up job, and keep it up, man. We'll see you Friday at the Nest. Thanks to
Sounds great.
WHA TV for their support. We're the pregame sponsors, so excited to be a part of that.
Excited to have you for sure.
Well, I guess let's do recap a little bit of last week's games, Friday's games, and let's start off by checking out the highlights that Sam Deaton produced from the game you were at, Wes. Bluffton Bobcats looking good in the early season, and I'm going to mute this so we don't get a...
Yeah, this was a 1-2 punch of the two studs you'd expected to see. And Amari Patterson, Patterson was just we're starting from the intro.
Yeah, he just had that. He had that little move.
Okay, awesome stuff from our
sick.
interns who continue to raise the game. They are just doing a terrific job, and to have those just those high level work in terms of getting those cameras in the right spot. But Carnell Warren to the house.
He had a monster game. Everybody had a monster game.
McCarthy threw 4 touchdown passes. The defense was terrific. They forced 4 turnovers all over the place early after giving up that initial first score to Savannah Country. They look at that pick from Carnell Warren doing it all.
Wow.
Beautiful anticipation for number 3. And then here he is on offense making a guy miss. He was showing why he has been a high...
had a little fun with the camera here.
Yeah.
This is fun.
Oh.
He switched it to Amari.
Look at that. Look at that speed there from Amari Patterson, the track star, showing off. Oh, back it up.
Then he backs it up, and then he shows Carnell.
Man, I don't know how to do those After Effects, but those were perfect.
Yeah, those are pretty sick.
Yeah,
Sam's got some skills.
Good blocking, opening up for Carnell Warren, showing why he's such a sought after recruit right now. And
now the Bobcats did not come out of it.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. The Bobcats did not come out of it unscathed because Aiden Howell, I saw on his mama's Facebook that he
how about that?
So I don't know what Holly's status is. He's been out the last couple of games. I don't know what his status is, but
Dustin's going to have to be creative and really rely on Patterson and Warren for them to get the ball in their hands. But they're a pass first team, so I'm sure that they'll rely on the passing game. But certainly, when you're down potentially 2 running backs, that's a depth concern. We're not able to have those guys in the backfield. But I'm still bullish on this Bluffton offense. But they're certainly in for what could be the Lowco game of the year. It's shaping up to be that way between Bluffton heading to Hampton County.
Yes, that one is on tap on Friday, and that's a great segue to the rankings because those are the 2 Lowco teams that cracked the high school league top 10 this week. Bluffton sneaking in at number 10 in Class 4A, which it's been hard to get into that top 10. There's a lot of good teams in that division. Hampton climbing all the way to the top. Top 2 teams fell. Hampton County number 1 in Class 2A. And so it's number 1 in 2A, number 10 in 4A, the showdown in Varnville on Friday. That is going to be something else. Going to be a good one.
I mean, you saw in the schedule to start the season, and you knew that these would probably be the 2 strongest high school league teams in the area, and they've certainly proved it. And I haven't seen Hampton yet. They have certainly shown their electricity on offense, but this Bluffton team, the way they can air it out and throw it deep down the field. Now it's certainly going to hurt to not have, the running game depth that they had at the start of the year. But I still think that offense could be a handful to hold down. And I mean, this is the matchup that we were hoping for. 2 teams who have been on a roll to start the year, and it's everything that you'd love as a Lowco football fan. See the best teams from the area go toe-to-toe against each other, even though they're not the same classification. This should be a tremendous game. Everything that you probably hope for, hopefully, but it's going to tell a lot about both of these teams. I think Hampton County is, shown and certainly proved to be that top spot in 2A right now. And conversely for Bluffton, I mean, the hype was real heading the season, and they've turned out and certainly in a way overachieved with the way they dominate Savannah Country Day. But everything that you'd love to see early on in the year, a match between two tremendous offenses and two really well coached teams going at each other, early on the season. And I still have to kind of think in terms of who I will take in this game, because I think that I think both teams certainly have a case on why they could come away with the win. So
I don't think we're gonna know until Thursday night. We might not even know Thursday night. To me, it's gonna come down to how healthy is Bluffton.
right.
If Bluffton continues to be banged up with the fact that it's on the road, that could be a problem for them. Bluffton, obviously, with the huge win against Whale Branch, and then what they were able to do against Savannah Country Day. I'm with you guys certainly, and I see a bunch of Bluffton. I haven't seen them yet this year, but I'm going to call them 3 times, just knowing what we all know, and I see them a bunch year to year. I expect big things out of this team. I think they still have a very good chance to be right at the top, not necessarily at the top, but near the top. We talk about those. I think right now, honestly, it's 3 teams in 6-4A that everybody has to be looking at. Beaufort needs to find a way to just get one at this point. The injury bug is really hurting them again. So I'm hoping that they can get one and that they can get one soon. I've got Hardyville Hilton Head this week, and then next week I've got the Battery Creek Beaufort game. So we'll see how that shakes out for them. But again, going back to the Bluffton Hampton game, how healthy will Bluffton be? That's going to be the huge key for it. It's going to be fun regardless, I think, because you are looking at 2 extremely prolific offenses in this area of the Low Country. It's going to be quite interesting, and Hampton's going to get tested back-to-back weeks, because next week they have Hilton Head, don't they?
Oh, yeah. Yes, they sure do.
The good thing for them is that they're both at home in Varnville.
Yes, that's very nice. Yep, great atmosphere to play under. You got the bell with the ring after.
Some highlights. I want to see some highlights from Hampton against Silver Bluff. Des Mathis with the touchdown grab. Not sure who to credit for these highlights, but they're sick.
This is probably one of the best places that I've been to in terms of the Lowco area Friday night football. There's nothing like Hampton County. The vibes are just immaculate over here every time I come to Hampton. And
he's been
cannot wait to make the trip again.
Yep. Grant's been excellent. He's done exactly what they needed him to do. He's really good in the system. He runs the ball well. Here he goes, taking off with it. You got Agent Zero, of course. You got Des Mathis.
Yep. A lot of those guys who were there 2 years ago, when that first team got to the finals of the lower state. And now I just think having that experience combined with some players who have really stepped up this year, Hampton is showing that they're still the top dogs right now in terms of that region and really that lower state, and right now in Class 2A. So I think that they want to make a statement at home. They want to defend their home turf against the best the Lowco has to offer, and I expect them to be fully ready to face that Bobcat defense, and they have some playmakers that Bobcats going to have to watch out for.
Yeah, man. That's going to be a great game. Looking at the other games from this week, just talked about Bluffton 33-20 over Savannah Country Day. Hayden McCarthy had 459 passing yards and 4 touchdowns. Patterson's line was crazy. 3 catches for 161 and 2 touchdowns. Warren 6 for 173 and 2 touchdowns, and they each had a pick on defense. So big win for Bluffton.
Yeah, I mean,
Hampton rolled 36-21 over Silver Bluff as Max Raj joins us. Jalen Singletary, 131 on 25 carries, 3 TDs. Terrell Grant, 9 of 12 for 159 with TDs to Desmond Mathis and Corentin Sabb, who has been a huge big play threat for them. So that sets up our big matchup this week. In other games, Philip Simmons beat Beaufort 17-6. Punt return touchdown at the end of regulation was the only score for Beaufort. So still worried about that offense. They are winless.
Yep.
They go to Goose Creek, which is also winless on Friday, and then they have Battery Creek. So it's a couple winnable games.
Get right opportunities for Beaufort,
and then they have a week off before Bluffton to open region play. So, I'm not.
Works out well for them. These next few weeks, although
right.
certainly they have a ton of work to do between now and then.
A lot of work.
Then I mean the start of region play, but just got to get one in the win column at this point to really.
That's
because I remember last year they couldn't find one early. They need to get it going and compete and really get that Goose Creek game would be absolutely massive for them. But the offense it's just been stagnant this year, and injuries have played a part. But still, they need to prove that they can put it together and sustain some long drives as we get towards region play, and we just haven't seen it so far for this Eagle squad. There's certainly some work to be done.
Uncharacteristic mistakes, and the offensive line hasn't held up like we expected them to, being as veteran as they are. So hopefully they can get some things figured out and turn it around before region play.
Right.
Colleton County falling 28-0 to Lower Richland. Another pretty good effort from the defense. Rodney Wilder had 2 picks, but just a lot like Beaufort, they just can't get anything going on offense right now. So Cougars are 0-3. They get stalled this week. So a great get-right opportunity for them. Marcus, you'll be on Hilton Head this week. They blew out Aiken 36-17. Javen Risher, monster game.
Wow.
For this guy. Let me see. Pull up his stats here because they were crazy. 19 for 159 and 2 touchdowns rushing. He also caught a 3-yard touchdown pass, had 3 tackles, a tackle for loss, and a 60-yard pick 6. And let me see if I can pull that up because it was pretty impressive. It's just huddle video, so forgive any skips or anything like that. But here's the pick 6. Going deep, goes up and gets it, keeps his balance, and here we go. We're going this way. Javen Risher, 60-yard touchdown.
Goodness.
There's also a 91-yard touchdown pass in here, if I can find it. That is not it, believe it or not. Here we go. Renijewski to Jeremiah Walters. This one's crazy. It gets tipped right to the receiver.
Oh, baby.
Walters,
look at him go.
To the races. Great downfield block. Springs him. Love it. So Seahawks rolled. They look good, although I think Zarnecki's banged up. And word on the street is he may not play this week.
That's not what you want to see. Zarnecki is the guy you need to keep healthy because he's kind of been the guy who runs the offense. So the Seahawks have suffered a couple of important injuries offensively, and you'd love to find a way to get healthy before region play. Obviously, you'd love to play well against Hampton County, but for this Hilton Head team where your strength is with that ground and pound game that Zarnecki provides, you'd love to find a way to get him back healthy before the start of that portion of the season. But that's a good road win for Hilton Head. I didn't think it would be an easy one for the Seahawks. Obviously they had to work to get it, but especially with some injuries that we've seen in the past for that Seahawks squad, that's a really nice result for Hilton Head to come in there and grind a nice victory over Aiken and build some momentum heading back to face Hardyville next week.
And I say that I'm not surprised to hear that he's a little bit banged up because that guy's a bulldog.
Oh yeah,
he is a workhorse out there. No doubt.
He is a workhorse bulldog. He's got Oral Hershiser written all over him from the 1990s. Talking about bulldogs. He just goes and goes and goes. He's like the Energizer Bunny. But Timko was the same way. Yeah. So it's something to see, and just the ability to run the football is great. Great
he's
stuff.
been behind Timko for a while. He knows that kind of work ethic, and
I think that's kind of what makes Hilton Head as dangerous as they are. Is you got two running backs that both are very different styles. You know.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, they can lose one. It just means the other has to play a lot more downs.
Yeah.
So you can survive that for a little while. You don't. They do a good job of balancing the load so they don't really grind their guys down too bad. Even last year, they let Zarnecki carry a decent amount of the load to keep Timko fresh, and they do a good job of that. Looking good. May River looking good. They bounced back as well. 34-16 at Lake City. Your guy, Wes, Sean Mitchell, 194 on 28 carries and 2 touchdowns. Looks like they were without Andrew Johnson in this one. So Mitchell carried more of the load, but quarterback Luke Tran stepped up too. He had 83 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground, and he hit Mitchell for a 25-yard touchdown pass. And then their defense has played pretty good. Michael Poole and Xavier Polite leading the way again, and they get a nice win. They get Brooklyn Casey on the road this week, and I like the Sharks in that one too. So, again, this region shaping up to be very competitive. Maybe not top to bottom, but the top 4, and then Beaufort still kind of a question mark, I think. But yeah, looking good over there. Battery Creek played their best game of the year. Keenan was the team that was flirting with the top 10. Question. Yeah, and Battery Creek gave them all they wanted. They lost 34-27. Just couldn't stop Hunter O'Neill.
That's great to see for Creek.
If they can,
that's not a bad Keene team. So to battle like the way they did, that's encouraging. And I hope you can build some of that because you get Bethune Bowman, and you'd love to see Creek get a W at this portion of the season, because they've certainly brought the effort, especially in that last game. Hunter O'Neill was just a little too much. 426 yards
for 5 TD.
It makes me think a little more about Battery Creek Beaufort game now, just because I think those teams compete really well against each other.
Yeah. I mean, this little offensive outburst for Creek against Keenan definitely gives me a little different perspective. I'd like to see some stats or video. I haven't been able to find anything just to see who they found, what was working, so that I have a better idea. But I like them against Bowman this week. I mean, Bowman, I saw them 0, and they're not bad.
Likewise.
They're better than they were last year, but they were very undisciplined and made a lot of mistakes down the stretch. And I just think Creek is going to be able to handle them up front. So I like their chances to get that one. And then, like you said, Beaufort's down. If there was ever going to be a year, maybe this would be the year, but I'm hesitant to go there yet. I think Beaufort's
I want to see what the next couple of weeks, because if they're able to get going and get one or get the next win against Goose Creek, I mean, that's if they're reeling into the Battery Creek game, it's going to be interesting to see if Beaufort can find a way to beat them, because I think this Creek team is really starting to find some grit and just overall strong play on both sides. Although the defense certainly the run defense, wish you could have done a little better against Keenan, but I love that they can compete from that team, and I think Susie's got something working, even though they haven't been in the win column yet. And I expect that. I mean, not always competitive. Beaufort's had certainly they've had some routes of Battery Creek, but I don't think this year. I think it's going to be a competitive game. I don't know who's going to win yet, but it's certainly going to be a competitive one.
Yeah,
I'll say this too. If they can use what they did well against Keenan going forward, it was a team that won 3 games last year. It's not out of the woods that they could do the same this year, maybe even grab a 4th, but they really have to start turning it on. That was a really impressive performance, just from seeing the score and whatnot against Keenan that they had last week.
Yeah, solid showing. You were over on that side of the Broad River as well, Marcus. Whale Branch with the 8-0 win over Ridgeland, and it was 2-0.
Wild a game as I've probably ever called.
You had a errant snap on a punt midway through the first quarter, and I was standing up for most of the night. And then you had Mekhi Zachary hitting Kevin Mims for a 21.
That was a great
touchdown.
pass down the right side in the flat area, touchdown.
But the story really about the defenses. I mean, Ridgeland's defense again played really well, but they just haven't scored in 3 games now. So same kind of thing we talked about with Buford and Colleton.
That offense is worried.
Yeah.
I'm worried about Richmond's offense right now. Still haven't scored a point.
No question.
Here.
Right. I know they got a little something going with Bam, but there's just not been much there. And Bowers didn't play, right?
He did not. There was the scenario of, was he hurt or whatnot? There are multiple things that are out there. He did not play. Harris played in the first half and did well, was trying to make some things happen in the run game, and then he hurt his foot in the third quarter, and we didn't see him the rest of the half. And that team definitely looked a little bit different without their excuse me, that team definitely looked a little bit different without their 2 top players. But they grinded it out. Zachary just with a yeoman's effort. But Watson on defense, we gave him the MVP. It was either going to be he or Zachary. He was really good. You mentioned it on the post game report there, JJ. He did a great job on the offensive line too. But defensively, he was all over the place and really got after it. It was definitely an interesting night, and I went into the fourth quarter just recalling the fact that it was a full moon because there was so many things happening kind of all at once. And then finding out at the beginning of the fourth quarter, courtesy of you and Max, that the Hardyville game was getting moved over there and going to be played as soon as our game was finished. So we had to try to scramble with the live setup. There's a lot more to it, but we had to try to scramble to get out of there as quickly as we could, tearing everything down and whatnot. It was a wacky, wild night.
It was a night that the lights went out in Hardyville.
That's definitely what Maria Soden was singing next to me in my ear, which got me to chuckle too. It was a crazy night, but a good way for us to start, especially with the new elements that we have into the broadcast. And it gave Daniel and I just a chance to get back, into the groove with one another, expecting a lot of really good stuff coming up with the rest of our schedule. But for sure this week, I'm looking forward to seeing Hardyville and Hilton Head, and we'll see what transpires. But a fun night nonetheless, although a wild one for sure.
Yeah,
and a late one too. Got back here about 11:30. Friday night.
I think they finished about that time up in Ridgeland. But yeah, speaking of Hardyville, the game was played in 2 locations. Started in the Ville. Lights went out on one side of the field.
Especially one night, too. Like that's crazy.
Wow. Yeah,
but it's possible, especially high school ball. You don't see it very often, but I think it was a good decision to do it. And
it was the only option, really.
Yeah, it was the only option.
Other than a 5-hour round trip Saturday for East Clarendon after going back home, and that just didn't make sense. They brought a big crowd. I think everybody was happy with the conclusion, going to Ridgeland and finishing it up. But no, Kamari Brown, big game. He scored the only touchdown for Hardyville. That's his 8th in 3 games this season, various different ways. And he had 16 tackles, 12 solo, 5 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, a forced fumble, and a blocked field goal. And I will share his highlight clip with you because, I mean, this man had a night. Here we go. And he cut his clips here. There he goes, breaking away, almost scoring. Now he's going to score on the next play. He cut his clips, gave us the little visual aids. I appreciate it. He's tough. He got a nose for that goal line. See, here we are back at the Ville. Change the location. This was one of the last plays before lights went out, I believe.
I just want to see a video of the lights going out.
Here comes Kamari. Bam. Took him down. Kamari is all over the place on this club. There you go. Block field goal. This man did a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a sick one. Comes right through on block. That's a good one, too. Gets the QB on this one. Oh,
with him cutting these clips, I'm getting like NFL matchup vibes on ESPN with Ron.
Well, Huddle allows you to do all that, which is cool.
Pretty sick.
Yeah, it is. Look at that.
Huddle's very advanced. Huddle's very advanced these days. They can make those highlight clips look pretty pretty exciting.
Yeah, no, it's a great tool. If you're
it is, and it's good to see kids use it and really market themselves with it, because you can build a nice clip montage for yourself.
Sure can.
It adds another piece of the game, because I'll tell you what, when I was their age, you couldn't really have that. You just had to. I mean, it was much more difficult to give film to recruiters. It's now with the technology and social media and all that. It's a completely different ball game, and the NIL, which of course wasn't there when I was. So it's just very, very different. Man.
All right, so Hardyville takes the loss, but played pretty well, and good spirits going into Hilton Head, even though we know that's a big time uphill climb for a 1A team against a quality freeway.
Yeah. The other thing they did, they played better than Richland did against East Clarendon, which gives me an idea as of right now as to where these two teams kind of sit. I like where Hardyville's sitting right now. I really think they're gonna pick up some wins here very soon. I really do believe that.
Yeah, this week's going to be tough, but Lee Central's a winnable game next week, and then we got Branchville toward the end, plus the region, and other than Bamberg, we feel like we should be able to compete with everybody in the region, and you never know. One night, against Bamberg, you never know what you can do.
Yeah, there's been some magic over there.
Guys to Bamberg last year, so it'll be a different fight this year. But over on the Skeeza side, Bethesda put up 50 burger for the second straight week against a Lowco team. They beat JP2 50-14. Jordan Turner and Raylo Wesley were the stars for the Blazers. Dorchester smoked Hilton Head Prep 42-0. John Wetzel and Waddlebaum doing it for the Raiders. Buford Academy 42-6 over Patrick Henry. Nick Underwood 206 and 3 TDs. Nick Schuford 102 and a touchdown on the ground, and 2 touchdown passes to Devin Fripp. Fripp had 4 catches for 115. Ryland Brunson, the only touchdown for PHA. 4 touchdowns rushing for Tony O'Banner, but not enough. Orangeburg Prep wins 41-27 over Thomas Hayward. Charlie Williams, you told us about him, Max, in the pregame. 94-yard touchdown pass to Tilden Riley, and then Riley picked off a pass in the red zone late to seal it. For the Indians, Carlton Prep kept rolling 44-8. Tanner Wolf 101 and 3 touchdowns on 8 carries. Cale Owens 88 and a score on the ground, and a 56-yard touchdown pass to Hartman Fisk. And best game of the year so far for the Stingrays. Cross lost 36-16 to Cathedral, but they lost last year by an average of 47 points. So showing some progress there. So,
man. I like that.
In the books.
Yep.
We'll get our player of the week ballot together here. I've got it mostly together, but we'll finish it up by tomorrow, and we'll get our votes in and name our players of the week from this week. But any big takeaways from week 2, fellas, that we haven't already covered, I guess?
Obviously Aiden McCarthy. That first half he had was absolutely unreal. I remember getting that text in our group chat, and I just said, "How many yards through the first half?" It's just absolutely real. That is my if we're talking about the player of the week, in my opinion, that's like my go-to right now.
It's hard to argue with it.
It is. Especially when you throw 288 passing yards in the first half, and how many passing touchdowns do we have? What was it? Three passing touchdowns first half? Yeah,
3. With 459 and 4.
Yep.
He's over 1,000 passing yards for the season already, which is pretty good.
We're getting to the
in terms of what I another plot that we kind of into talking about, which I'm kind of worried about Thomas Hayward's defense at this point, and just the team overall, because you get up 41 to Orangeburg Prep, a team that never an easy opponent to go up against, but certainly you don't see him giving up 41 to them very often. And just even though Tony gave you a solid game, he scored 4 times. You give up a 94-yard touchdown pass. That's a killer no matter who you play. And the defense seems a little bit off so far. So I just think this team's gonna. I mean, they've only played a couple of games, still some time left to get right, but this is the time of the year they're really going to have to get things together and lean on your star Antonio Banner, but you're going to have other guys support him, especially defensively. Hayward's going to have to find some other guys step up, because it seems like there have been players who have been those anchors defensively. I mean, back to Brandon Howard days, but then even these last few years, there have been guys who have really taken over on the defensive side, and still looking for that guy.
Got to get Dodge Peoples going.
It's not going to be much easier next week because they got to play Williamsburg, which is always a tough game. They always have a great offense.
It's still technically early enough in the season, but I'm going to say, and I recorded with Kevin another edition of the Marcus Walsh Show, and we talked about what we're seeing high school wise as is, both in Skeeza and in the high school league. I do not think it's out of the question to say that we are starting to see how this season may unfold with certain teams. The regions, I think, are starting to kind of set up that they're all top heavy with certain teams that we talk about. And there are a bunch of teams that they're getting to the wire here, where if they don't start showing up, and we talked about one just a short time ago in Battery Creek, that they got a very good, if you want to say, moral victory with the fact that they looked a lot better. But I can think of about 5 or so teams right now, regardless of high school league or Skeeza in certain divisions, that I'm really worried about at this point, because I mean, you're getting towards the middle of the season before too long where the rubber's going to meet the road. And if you don't start getting some moral victories or flat out wins and start looking a lot better, a lot of seasons for a lot of these local teams could be in trouble here real soon.
Yeah, it's not fun to lose, and the kids who aren't having fun day to day are going to start falling off if you don't.
Yeah, I agree. And I think if I look at all these teams so far, he is kind of right. They are very top heavy right now. I mean, there are some teams that are sitting there with a chance.
Situation.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I think there are some teams on the wire, and I agree with Marcus. There are some teams that are, not far away from being in some serious trouble. And
just kind of losing your season, just kind of letting it get away from. Colleton definitely fits that bill. Battery Creek needs they got something good last week as far as performance goes.
They need to continue that.
Good vibes. Yeah, Buford needs to get one back.
I'm worried about Hilton at Prep big time too.
Yeah, I am too.
Really worried about them.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm a tiny bit worried about Hilton Head Christian right now. Just a little.
I am as well. Honestly,
I'm worried about anybody who can't stop the run. I mean, that's
I'm a little worried about Hilton Head Christian, and it's because of what their upcoming schedule is. They got JP2 that could either be good or a bad game for them. Then you got Hampton. You got Hammond at home. Then you go on the road to play Pinewood Prep. That stretch right there could define what their season could end up being.
Well,
despite the fact that Hammond's a non-region, non-division game, I still think you could get pretty beat up in those 2 games between Hammond and Pinewood Prep.
And don't get and that JP2 game is going to be a holy war. Like they're going to come out swinging.
100%.
Bear. I mean, just loaded for bear.
And that's why I'm kind of worried right now if I'm Hilton Head Christian. Yeah, I really hope they figured something out during their bye week, because I know Paduzzi usually figures something out during the bye week, but I'm worried right now.
Yeah, no, they're up against it at this stage. All right, well, let's look ahead to this week's games. I've got those pulled up here somewhere. in all my mini windows. All right, so Buford at Goose Creek, 2 winless teams. Goose Creek beat them last year, 27-12.
I was there. That was a little rough.
Yeah,
last year.
It's hard to believe that Buford is sitting at 0-3 for the second year in a row, which is unthinkable not that long ago. Another one where one team will get a win. Bethune-Bowman and Battery Creek both 0-3. So 2 0-3 versus 0-3 matchups. Somebody getting a dub and some good vibes out of those two. Whale Branch 2-1, 1-2 straight, traveling to Woodland, which is 2-0. I think that's a winnable game for Whale Branch. Buford Academy at Lee Academy, BA's 4-0 and looking good. John Paul II, 2-2 at HHCA, 1-2. Ron Peduzzi, 8-0 against the Golden Warriors. All 8 games decided by 11 points or more, and the Eagles have won 4 of them by 30 points or more. So we see a change in that trend. Bluffton at Hampton County, of course, you got to call that one the game of the week, unless you're WHHI, and then you got something else called the game of the week. But Stall
got the game of the week, and then our game of the week.
Yeah, the WHHI game,
which is
no, I called it potentially game of the year.
You're not getting us. I take it you're going to be there, Wes.
I'm open up for whoever wants to be there, because I would assume it's I'm thinking about it, but I'm still in my mind, because we also have another one at home, which would be good, between Christian Academy and JP2, which
it's true.
Yeah, I figured I would fall on the sword and make the long trip out to Hampton if I need to. I'd love to see both those teams. And get
I won't be able to make the trip. I'll be alongside Marcus Walsh with WHHI on Friday. So
I figured I'd put them.
I can't make the trip. I can't make that trip. God knows I want to.
Coach Hannah's been on me to come see him, so I may have to go see my Hampton peeps. Then we got Stall at Colleton County. Stall got a dub against somebody. Oh, Academic Magnet. That's who it was.
I
was surprised to see them beat somebody, because I saw them preseason. They looked rough, but I think that's got a chance. Colleton beat them last year. That was their only win. They need to win that game.
Wow.
They got a tough schedule. So they need to get that one. Hardyville at Hilton Head. That's WHHI game of the week.
Cross County Bowl.
Yeah, Cross County Bowl. Is that what it is? Okay.
That's what it is.
Should be fun. I hope our boys can hang in there and give them a fight. But the Seahawks definitely a big powerhouse relative to Hardyville. May River 2-1 going to Brooklyn Casey, which is 0-2. Kind of a sneaky trap game maybe, but I think May River takes care of business. Manning 1-2, which is a drop off from last year. They were a good team last year. They come to Ridgeland, which is 0-3. We'll see if the Jags can get the offense going in that one. We got an afternoon delight at Hilton Head Prep. Probably not going to be delightful for the Dolphins though, because Bethesda Academy bringing the offensive juggernaut across the Patrick Henry sitting at 1-2, and they got to go to undefeated Dorchester on Friday. Yeah, Colleton Prep at Calhoun Academy. This is 1A crossover week, I guess.
I love that.
You got
a state championship game, or at least the Corp in the playoffs. So
Colleton Calhoun could be a state championship game.
That is definitely a possibility.
Well,
that other region is tough, though, dude. Calhoun, Williamsburg, Dorchester.
I mean, you'd love. I mean, you'd love to see Colleton County or Colleton Prep Buford Academy. I mean, that would be because they'd be opposite as a bracket if they're 1-2, correct?
Yeah.
Right. But it's gonna be a battle in that 1A bracket. That 1A division is way tougher than 2A in my mind.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Brutal. But and then the other 1A game, Thomas Hayward at Williamsburg, and that's a tough trip and a tough opponent for the Rebels. They could be staring at 0-3. And then finally an 8-man, Holly Hill 3-0 at Cross 0-3. So it could be a tough night for the Stingrays. But yeah, pretty good slate this week. Last week was a funky slate. It had a lot of weird out of area matchups.
Usual stuff.
It felt like we were in the Twilight Zone last week.
I think you looked the big one. the big one will be 2 weeks from now, week 5. We got Bluffton, Hilton Head,
Yeah.
Hardyville, Ridgeland, Christian County, Pinewood. But this one's
Wow,
exciting as
we-
well. And of course, I mean that you get the best 2 teams in the area in high school league going up against each other. JP2 Hilton and Christian. I mean, it's weird because it's not a region game.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of see that sometimes, but I don't see how they approach that because you see them again later in the year, but
And it is a
obviously-
region game.
Yeah, no,
Right.
it's not.
So you don't want to
Split
show
it.
everything. Yeah, the
Right.
second one. Yeah.
The second
Right.
one, the one in October is.
Yeah.
The one at JP2 is. This one's in the Christian Academy, but still, it's an important game for both these teams. I think more so for Hilton and Christian Academy than JP2, because I feel like Hilton and Christian Academy has been a little underperforming this year, just a bit.
I think,
coming
yeah,
off the bat. So I think this game, if you look at which team needs this game more, I kind of think it's Hilton and Christian Academy.
No
Agreed.
question.
100%.
Yeah.
This, in my opinion, this for Helmet Christian is a get right game, especially before the 2 games you have following it. I agree. I think this puts a lot of pressure on Hilton Head Christian to show everyone that they have figured something out coming out of that bye week. Because I look at this game saying, yeah, it's not a region game, but this is very important for Hilton Head Christian because I just think if they don't play what we expect them to play like as a team, because this is the funny thing
they
is
got Hampton coming in next week. Better be ready for that one.
I mean, if Hilton Head Christian doesn't play their best game this coming Friday, despite it not being a region game, if they don't play their best game, I don't think they're going to beat Hammond, regardless. But I want to see them play a tough game against Hammond like they did against Porter Goud. So it's funny how Hilton Head Christian ends up having the 4A runner-up and the 4A state champion within the same schedule at the same year. It makes it very difficult, but it gives them a lot of good challenging games. But I'm very worried about, these next 3 games because this is the toughest stretch of games on their schedule this year.
It kind of reminds me of what Buford does with loading their schedule up at the beginning of the season as well, with really tough competition. I think I've asked this before, and I'm sure you've addressed it as well, JJ, but I just would like clarification if you happen to know. Why is it that for the last couple of years we've seen that where HHCA is playing JP2 twice, one game's a non-region game and one game's a region game, with the fact that it's playing twice in the same season?
I don't know the answer to that other than I think Skiza makes their schedule.
Is it an imbalance in the Skiza schedule, or?
Yeah, I think they asked them like, hey, you both have an open week this week. Do you want to play each other? And they like it. Like they like playing each other twice. I think probably the answer to most of your questions is money, and they get a big gate. And one thing that I've learned since working in schools is that one of the things that the AD thinks about the most is that gate, because it really does feel it funds your department for the whole year, that football gate in particular. And so you got to think about it. It's got to be top of mind. And, if they're faced with playing each other twice versus every other year making a 3-hour road trip, and the other year getting a paltry gate from the road team that's 3 hours away, then I guess it probably makes financial sense and it's more meaningful. So it's cool. I mean, Bluffton and Hilton Head did it for a couple years there.
That's true, they did.
They played each other first.
It seems
May River and Bluffton may have done it the first year.
when May River started, I think it was the first couple of years actually.
Yeah.
When May River became a program, it's true. I guess it's not quite as uncommon as maybe I think, but all of those scenarios certainly make sense.
Yeah, I mean, I think coaches probably don't love it because you don't want the opponent to see you before you play them or whatever, but ADs do because brings in that big gate. So got to deal with it. But all right.
As Philip Banks once said, "Mo money, mo money, mo money."
Yeah, but as Biggie and Puffy said, the more money you come across, the more problems you see.
Yeah,
that's true too.
Yeah.
Never do know. But, Puffy definitely ran into some problems. Biggie too, for that matter. But all right, so we've put week 2 mostly to bed. We'll name our players of the week a little later in the week, and we are already off and running, getting you ready for week 3. We'll start to bring this thing in for a landing. But Max came off mute. Did you have something to add, Max?
No, I'm good.
Okay, I saw the mute button go off. I thought maybe you were gearing up for a hot take. I was going to give you But shout out to some of our sponsors. Hudson Seafood House on the docks. Great place for seafood, cocktails, and sunsets on Hilton Head Island. And presenting sponsor of Under the Bus. We punted on Under the Bus to Thursday because Bob could not be on the show tonight. I was going to fill in, but then there was a nap on the couch situation that ran over. And so Thursday it is, Under the Bus on the Lowco Media Network, presented by Hudson Seafood House on the docks.
Yeah,
if you need a personal... What's that?
Yeah, kind of it will blend into a really good game to start week 2 between the Packers and Commanders.
Yeah, true story. Packers look good last week. Packers look
They
good.
did.
Oh, they're legit. Both those teams are legit. That could be an NFC Championship game.
Yeah, it could be. Don't forget about those Eagles, though. Let's don't forget about.
No doubt. I seems like I'm always forgetting the Eagles, and you know what? No, I mean, no,
everybody's been saying Packers.
I'm like, over the hump, mostly I have some family who are Washington fans, so I'd love it for them. But Packers, storied team, and it's always cool to see them make it there, and a team trying to prove themselves. So
yeah, I have no ill will with the Packers now.
But the Eagles will find a way to crash the party somehow. They're gonna. They're tough. They're looking like themselves so far.
And don't sleep on the Bucks either. The Bucks
no.
Look pretty good.
No.
Sorry, Max.
No.
Sorry.
No, I mean,
but although
Baker has that competitive nature to him, I just and then they got Buka now, who's had a nice, another good target for him. Yeah, that offense is the offense to me. They're going to be prominent.
All right, back to sponsors. Personal injury attorney. If you need one in Beaufort, we got one with a rare name, but they provide remarkable service. Call on Twinge and Twombly personal injury attorneys in Beaufort for all your legal needs. And then HHI Windows and Doors. Coach Barron, our old friend from Hilton Head Prep, improving our view of the Lowco with HHI Windows and Doors. We've also got Reverence Wrestling Club, official wrestling sponsor and presenting sponsor of the Lowco Grind, and Jay's Barbershop, the place to be in Ridgeland, whether you need a haircut or not. And that brings us, gentlemen, to our parting thoughts. Marcus, what you got, buddy?
There were some great games week 1 for sure. I wish I would have seen more of it, but that Baltimore-Buffalo game, my gosh.
It's probably going to be the game of the year.
Absolutely epic. And I tell you what, I'm so glad that Josh Allen delivered for me because my fantasy team won because of him and his performance. That was a great game. Even the Chicago-Minnesota game last night was really
McCarthy. How about that?
It was a snoozer till the fourth quarter, but then it was
right.
Fun.
Yeah.
NFL season is off and running for sure. Actually, speaking of Jay's Barbershop and Ridgeland and all that, I was getting my haircut at Barbers of the Lowcountry today, and I was talking to my barber, and he said, Who's the guy, Tonio Touchdown? I said, Tonio Banner? He's like, yeah, that's him. One of his friends came into Barbers of the Lowcountry, was talking about him. I'm like, Tonio Banner, he's a dude.
He goes to
but how about my guy, Daniel Jones, dropping
Danny
some dimes?
Yes.
How about that?
I have him as a backup in one of my leagues, and he really impressed me.
I'm expecting him to do well in that system. I really am.
I agree.
I just think he never got to play behind an offensive line in New York.
Right.
He's gonna be okay. He never got to play behind a team in New York. That's his problem. Forget the offensive line.
He had Saquon for a while, and he was fine. And then
but there were more problems that were present, especially with
granted, it was never his fault. New York Giants just kind of screwed him.
Organization hasn't been well run in a while. So
yeah, absolutely. Max, what you got for a parting thought?
Apart from my Falcons screwing up in the last seconds with a missed field goal, Young Waiku has become a liability. Apart from that, then there was a Clemson Tigers debacle with Troy. I still can't.
Yeah,
I'm still angry about that one too.
I'm not optimistic about their chances against Georgia Tech. I mean, I think it's going to be a toss-up. I mean, you got to discuss at that point, especially on the road.
I hate saying that, man, because I really want this Clemson team could be special, but man, they ain't showing it right now.
I mean, they got it going late, but do you have the trust in Klopnik right now in a big game on the road?
No, I don't. 100%, I don't. I just don't like how they're playing. I mean, granted, their number one receiver has been down. He was down for most of that LSU game, and then he was out for the entire game against Troy. So that was part of the issue, and he's kind of one of those leaders of the team that, without him there, it can become an issue.
They're playing running back now.
Yeah, well, and that's the other thing. Like, everybody dubs him as the next Derrick Henry. I'm like, there is no other Derrick Henry. All right. I mean, Adam Randall is a big dude that can run the football.
6'3", isn't he?
Yeah, he's 6'3". 6'3".
Dang.
Something like that. He's like 6'2", 6'3" for a running back. That's pretty tall.
I didn't realize Randall was that big.
Yeah, I mean, he was a wide receiver beforehand, I'm pretty sure. So, it is what it is. But I'm a little worried about Clemson. But as for the Falcons, I thought they played a great game. They just missed opportunities. Michael Penix had a great game. He was like 27 of 40 for 293 yards or something like that. I mean, he had a great game.
You could look back on and say this is why we lost the division, because Tampa.
And that's the worrying part, because it could happen as to like that week one game could have costed you the season come near the end of it. So, I mean, it is what it is. But the funniest thing is last year the Falcons swept the Buccaneers and still didn't win the division. So, you just never know. But that division is going to be between those two teams, I think. Although the Carolina Panthers did not look terrible. Did not look great.
They
look pretty bad.
Yeah, Carolina after week one, they were messy on both sides of the ball. All the optimism that we thought about Young certainly was not there, and the play calling was suspect at times. That's all I'll say. So they have work to be done. New Orleans has work to be done. I think right now it's between Atlanta and Tampa Bay.
Yeah, definitely, 100%.
But
I would love to see Atlanta get back to the playoffs. It's funny that in the entire time they've had Mercedes-Benz Stadium, they still have not had a playoff game since they opened that stadium, which is crazy to think about. But
I didn't realize
it is a curse. I'm starting to hate it.
Right there, like in the last week or so, and competing for playoff spots.
Yeah, apart from all that,
Yeah, but they have. I mean, I like the way their offense is set up. Certainly. I'm telling you right now, and you have.
Bijan. That was the other issue I had with the Falcons, was they used him too much in that game to the point where every time they handed him the football, he ran into a wall of Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's just.
Bucs did a good job against the run. He did more in the pass game than he did in the ground game.
Yeah, he definitely did, and that's. I think it's going to be like that nowadays, is just because he's one of the top running backs in the league. I mean, he was fourth in the league in rushing last year. So, I mean, he is a problem for them. But the funniest thing now is Michael Penix has a team around him. Like, Kyle Pitts had a good game on Sunday, it's been a while since I can say that. That he's had a good game. Drake London is dealing with a shoulder injury now, so I don't know where that sits. But they got a good overall offense. I mean, that offensive line might be an issue, but just because they lost one of their starters for the entire season, so it could be an issue. But I do like the way the Falcons look on offense and on defense. That defense for the Falcons is, especially the secondary, is really strong. So I'm excited. I have high hopes for this Falcons team, but I will say that Green Bay Packers team is just unbelievably that is a buzzsaw coming at you, man. I watched that entire game.
That's a legit team. The way they dominated Detroit.
Really,
but I just watching them. just watching them, I was like, I really like that Packers team, and that scares me a little bit.
It seemed pretty.
I think it more shows about how good the Packers could be more than how much the Lions could regress, even though they lost Ben Johnson, who's been there.
Yeah.
Well, I think they'll be fine.
It's probably going to take a few weeks for them to.
Yeah, I just think the Packers are. But let's shift gears to football, because my parting thought concerns soccer, most specifically the U.S. men's national team finally getting back in the win column tonight. It was about time, and they get the job done against Japan 2-0. One that they really needed, because there were some very suspect signs that this team was going in the wrong direction. We're less than a year until the World Cup, which of course we hosted in the United States alongside Mexico and Canada. It is probably going to be the biggest World Cup in the history of the men's national team program. To have it here, where soccer has been growing in such a big way, and to get the opportunity to host the biggest tournament in the world every 4 years, you need to be on your best foot forward. And they have had a rough stretch before them, but just great to see them get back to their winning ways, and to see Pulisic playing well, see him back on the house, because there are times where he wasn't playing, but it's important to have him back. And nice to see some other impact players getting the job done, including Alex Andeas, who came up huge. I believe he had a big goal in that game. So this is a team that was supposed to have like this golden generation around this time. It has not panned out.
No.
Whether it's just been the lack of experience, the lack of success by some of those guys who were coming up, or just the inadequate coaching, because I think the coaching hasn't been great the last couple of years in most areas. So I'm still not as optimistic as I wish I could be about the U.S. men's national team, but certainly there's still some more friendlies to find a way to get things to click. But you'd love to see them continuing to grow as a squad and in that right direction, because this is such an important point in terms of U.S. soccer on the men's side. So I'd love to see them continue to take this momentum forward. But great crowd in Columbus. They've been looking for a really good. They normally do turn out well, but there have been some games they've played, and there has been such a lack of support. But playing at a stadium which is home of the Columbus Crew, it's a great soccer atmosphere. Columbus, Ohio, of course, Marcus. That's near your neck of the woods in
Yes,
Ohio.
indeed, and they are just tremendous fans there with the Columbus Crew. It is a great environment. I've never been there, but from everything I've heard, it is an awesome environment. Very cool stuff for sure.
Yeah. But World Cup tickets will go on sale, or at least the process begins tomorrow. So if you're interested in securing your tickets for the 2026 World Cup, which will be across the U.S. and Canada and Mexico, it is starting soon.
Good luck getting tickets too, man. They ain't going to be cheap either.
Tuned in just in time to see the second goal tonight, so good timing for me. Here's one for you. Most of the guys that we have playing college football, we can look up their stats pretty easily, but this guy not so easy. Xavier Chaplin, offensive tackle for Auburn. It's hard to look up the stats for those guys, but Pro Football Focus College does it for us. Chaplin had 37 pass block snaps this last week, 1 pressure allowed, and 86.6 run block grade. So X-Man getting it done over there. He is going to be playing. He's going to be the next Loco guy in the league, and it's going to be soon.
100%.
For sure at this point now. There's still a long way to go, but I would be surprised if he doesn't get drafted. And he could get drafted a little earlier than you would expect to if he continues up.
I think he might be a pretty high draft pick whenever he comes out, whether that's this year or next, because he's eligible to come out this year, right? This will be his draft eligible year. So, I'm seeing his name pop up. I think he's definitely going to play in the league. And then my other one, I just got to show love. Today was college application day at Hardyville High School, so I had to rep the Tigers after a huge win. People don't understand how much that game means unless you're a part of like Duke, North Carolina, or one of the other Clemson, South Carolina. You guys hate it on the same level, but it doesn't go back to the Civil War like ours. So it's a big time rivalry. We can't even agree on the series. Who we lead the series, everybody agrees, but there's one game that the results in dispute. So
Oregon State's on that same kind of level, isn't it? Because that game's actually called the Civil
War. But predate, but like our rivalry actually was connected to the actual Civil War. Brown and all that. Which I grew up on the Kansas side of things, but when it comes to the universities and the sports, I'm a Mizzou guy all the way. But no, huge win for us. We're in the top 25 now. Bo Prabula, he's the real deal. We got a couple really good running backs. We got some good receivers. Defense is pretty salty. Got behind against Kansas, but came back and got the job done. So I'm ready for the SEC schedule. We got Louisiana this week, and then we jump in. I think we got the Gamecocks week after that. Which
at home or in Columbia? Which is funny to say because they're both Columbia.
They're both Columbia. I want to say it's in Columbia, South Carolina. I want to say. So let me look that up and be sure for you. But no, I'm digging Mizzou football this year. I'm hoping we can keep it going. I wasn't sure. You never know about a new quarterback, but that dude came from Penn State, and he's legit. It would seem. No, we're in Columbia, Missouri. Night game.
Oh, okay.
Night game.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Kick him out. Tell them who the real Columbia is.
That's right. We have way less pavement per square inch.
Definitely more beautiful.
Well, good show tonight. Enjoyed it. Thanks to all of our sponsors, especially the OGs Mickelson Law Firm and our other all-stars, WHHI TV. Thanks to everyone who showed up to listen or watch. And we'll be back tomorrow night. We've got a guest lined up, I think. I saw you send me a note earlier. We'll make sure that he didn't cancel on us. But, oh, no, he's really busy. Tomorrow works best. Oh, no, he said tomorrow works best for him. No activities after school.
Yay.
So we'll get Zaire Kennedy from Whale Branch to come on and talk about what's going on with the Warriors and his journey, because he's trying to prepare himself to be a sports administrator. So
nice.
I think you met him at Media Day, Marcus. He came along with the team. Zaire? Young man.
I mean,
oh yeah, he was there.
But,
yeah, he was there.
Yeah,
but
he was there.
He's planning to join us tomorrow night. So we'll look forward to that, and we'll talk about what's happening around the Lowco. And until then, for Marcus Walsh, Max Araj, and Wes Kerr, I'm Justin Jarrett. Y'all be good and stay Lowco.